what is the current request? What is the current need? Alex, you and I communicate frequently. Many of your colleagues communicate frequently with me. And the situation has changed exponentially. It's changed by the day. What is the current situation? What's the current need? And I also want to reiterate everything that Alex said. We can't be lost on this moment in history. And we all ought to study history. We all ought to study September 1st of 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, and how many people across the globe were worried about provocation. They were worried about escalation. And my question to supporters of them is, how did that work out for them? We have to take this threat as serious as possible. Vladimir Putin is a war criminal. What is being committed now is genocide, and Russia is a state sponsor of terrorism. Let's start with those three basic facts, right? That's the platform that we ought to be launching from. But what does Ukraine need now? Because we just passed recently a $40 billion aid package. There's going to be another package up for consideration soon. It's being become more difficult to maintain that assistance and that support. So it's important that we hear from you the current situation and what is it that you need more than anything right now.
Of course, I'm dreaming about position that Russia officially is a state sponsor of terrorism, that what is going on officially is genocide. It's not about public wording. It has to be a part of official decisions and documents for the future perspective to have accountability and justice. Because I believe that what Russia is doing, it's because USSR was not punished. Because Ukrainians had the same stories about filtration, about camping, about tortures for many, many years ago. You know that we had genocide already. We had the same during and after the Second World War. And because of Russia was one of the winners of the Second World War, it was not punished. Russia, I mean USSR. That's why I believe that we have to ask you to continue support from both parties, Ukrainian future and security in Europe through the future accountability process. This process has to be building now because we have to think about tribunal against aggression. It can be investigation against Putin personally, even now. Because we have precedents already. So only this tribunal can be a basic position to start investigation about Putin today. I have to talk about other type of tribunals. We have to support ICC. I know the position of the USA about ICC, International Criminal Court. At the same time, I hope that our partners will continue to support it. But a few days ago, official statistician about open criminal cases against war crimes in Ukraine was near 40,000 of cases. Can you imagine what it has to be done in Ukraine? We have to found it special court. We have to train investigators. We have to give them equipment and support them because it's about amount of crimes. And I don't think that we can compare this situation with some of the others. Sanctions, it's about your committee too. Sorry, Ukraine lost already $96 billion because of war in Ukraine. Do you know how much money took Russia from Europe and other states through the gas and oil? $97 billion. So Russians will have enough money to continue this aggression against Ukraine, unfortunately. And we have to think how the price will increase day by day, and how Russia will not build the ally with other authoritarian and other type of regime, semi-authoritarian regime in the future, to build this ally for the future aggression against not only Ukraine, but Europe. You know about that very well. So from my perspective, official tracks has to be historical for now, because after Putin will come even worse authoritarian leader, because there is a huge request from Russian society to have such type of system, unfortunately.
Senator Cardin, of course, is ahead of the curve, and that is the documentation. And incredibly, when the war started, I remember seeing a German newspaper that called this the cell phone war. And that means that there can be documentation that would have never been imagined in prior conflicts. And with the proliferation of cell phones, people can document and then provide this worldwide. And additionally, there's other technology, and I'd like from both of our witnesses, is there other technology that could be helpful, such as satellite surveillance capability, whatever? Is there whatever other means can there be that we help back them up to provide the documentation of the atrocities that are being committed?
Thank you for your question. I briefly want to answer just a few things. First of all, if you are going to continue to support Ukraine on documentization process, it's not just documentization for documentization. We have to build this justice and institutions who will work enough and will be powerful enough in historical perspective. Now we have like a tool, joint investigation team, and few countries signed agreement to exchange the information because we have more than 6 million refugees, and many of them were eyewitnesses, and we have collect the data from them and use it for the future accountability process. But you know that such instruments, it's something new for everyone in the 21st century. That's why the best brain, the best minds in the USA can be a part of the development of this justice future. And I want to highlight that the idea to have the tribunal against aggression, it's not something new, but we had just statements and declaration. We have to found this tribunal through EU mechanism, and I hope that the US will be a part of that, because I don't believe that UN can adopt any agreements which will give us a chance to have tribunal on international level. And when you ask about occupied territories, you know that there is only one answer. It's military supply for Ukrainian state, for Ukraine and Ukrainian army, because as long this process will go on, as much victims and eyewitnesses we will have in the future. And unfortunately, if Russia will try to annex these territories, we will not back it as soon as it's possible, as we hoped. But because it will be like Crimea for many other partners in the world, even from the Western civilization. Unfortunately, we had this gap during the last 8 years, unfortunately. That's why my last point, please don't be tired to watch what is going on in Ukraine, and don't be tired to think how to continue support Ukraine, because it's not only about Ukraine, it's about global issue, which Russia is a part of that. Thank you.